Hey there. So, just a quick video on how you ship a full container load of products to Amazon FBA. So, the first thing you do is that you create your shipments as normal. Now, the big thing when you're creating these shipments is that when you want to send a particular SKU to Amazon FBA, as we know, Amazon's going to want to send it to 2 or 3 different warehouses. So, let's pretend I'm sending this particular widget, I'm sending it to Amazon. I want to send 10 units, as we can see here. What's happened, of course, is that Amazon's saying, okay, well, you need to send 4, 3, and 3 units to these different warehouses. And that's obviously a problem if you're shipping a full container load because you need that container to go to one particular warehouse. So there's a few different things that you can do here to get around this. Number one, this is actually an oversized item that I've kind of created a default shipment for. Oversized items are almost always going to be split up into multiple warehouses. What you can do in this case is, let's pretend I wanted to send 10 units just to one warehouse. I could create a shipment of, say, 20 units. And what's going to happen is that Amazon is going to assign probably somewhere around 10 units to Charleston, and then 5 units to Las Vegas, and 5 units to Logan Township. What I can then do is ship those 10 units to Charleston, and in the next coming months, I'll ship the other remaining units to Las Vegas and Logan Township. And when you create shipments with Amazon, you don't have to ship those shipments right away. You can ship them months down the road. And of course, if you're shipping directly from China, but from the time that you create the shipment to the time that you actually ship it in, it's going to be months anyways. So what you can do is just kind of forget about these other 2 remaining smaller shipments for the time being. Now, I know some people delete those shipments after, or they simply forget about them and never do ship them. You should definitely ship them at some point because Amazon eventually will lower the hammer and say, hey, why are you creating all these shipments and you're not shipping them? The other thing you can do, if you're shipping a standard size item, Amazon more often than not nowadays does tend to ship standard size items just to one warehouse. So if you're shipping oversized, it can be a real pain to get them to go to one warehouse, but standard size items often do only go to one warehouse. That's another point to make here too, is that don't ship your don't kind of mix your standard size items and oversized items. Otherwise, they're almost certainly going to go to a lot of warehouses. So you create your shipment like this. Hopefully you end up with enough quantity going to one warehouse that you can fill your container with. Then when you're creating your shipment, this is really where the only magic happens, is that when you're doing your shipping service, you want to pick less than truckload. And of course, we're shipping a full container load, but Amazon just categorizes it as less than truckload, even though it's actually a full truckload. Of course, you're not going to be able to have an Amazon partnered carrier with this, so you'll just choose other carrier and just choose other. So when you're done that, you're pretty much good to go. The only thing after this, you'll get your carton labels, you'll give them to your supplier, so you'll generate your box labels, print these off, give them to your supplier. If you're shipping on pallets, which you don't need to if you're going into an Amazon FBA warehouse as a full container load, you can actually ship it what they call floor stuffed. You don't need pallets. Amazon requests that you do, if you're really nice, give them pallets, but you don't actually need pallets. And of course, if you're shipping pallets from China, it kind of complicates things because pallets need to be fumigated and good for export, and they're actually quite expensive. So I recommend you to actually ship a floor-loaded container instead of on pallets. But if you do ship them on pallets, then obviously give your supplier the pallet labels as well. So once they have your carton labels, they're gonna put the carton labels all on your shipment. Once that's good and they have the container going over to Amazon, the only last thing that you need to do is you need to send your customs broker or your freight forwarder what they call an Amazon FBA booking form. And I don't have this on the screen here, but just Google it, Amazon FBA booking form. Give that to your supplier. You're going to have to fill in the Amazon shipment ID and the Amazon FBA reference number. That's the only things that you'll need to fill in there, along with the carton quantity number. And just fill that in. It's 3 easy categories. And once you're done that, send it to your freight forwarder, and then your shipment should arrive to Amazon FBA as a full container load. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea of how you can ship a full container load of items into Amazon. Talk to you guys on the next one.